at the Games Olympic Special is presented by Fox College Sports, Comcast Xfinity Indiana, WIPB TV, the College of Communication, Information, and Media, and Ball State University.
Hello and welcome to the BSU at the Games Olympic Special. From the heart of London, Trafalgar Square, I'm Josh Blessing.
And I'm Boylan. Josh, we've had the chance to meet many Olympians on our journey, like diver David Boudia, boxer Errol, Spence, and the United States men's basketball team. Now we're here to tell you their stories.
And here's some of those athletes to tell you what it's like to be an Olympian.
It's a great honor to represent, the United States of America in these Olympics. I've always looked up to U.S. athletes, not just in my sport, but in other sports, and they have been great ambassadors for the country and for their respective sports.
This is something that I live with every day, day in and day out, and I feel comfortable wearing this. This is where I need to be.
Ever since we were young, watching the Olympic Games, you just get that sense of pride and, watching everybody come out together, for the U.S. and, what that feels like. It's, goosebumps.
When I step out onto that field, I'm not just representing myself and my sponsors, it's everyone in America that is standing behind me that I'm representing too. And so it's an honor for me to be able to go out and do that.
It's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, it's really exciting to just be able to come together and have all of our achievements recognized.
If you look at the list of Olympians and, people who have represented our country, just to be in the same, category as them, it's an honor.
You represent the greatest country in the world, and you're there to prove it. You're there to show off, and you're there to represent your country as best you can.
It's a privilege to be wearing the American flag and representing the red, white, and blue, the greatest country on earth. And I'm just enjoying the moment right now, just soaking it all in.
Over the past couple months, we've been able to interview hundreds of Olympic athletes and tell their amazing stories.
But well before the trip to London ever began, we went to Dallas for the Team USA Media Summit. That trip to Dallas would help us make many connections with athletes once we arrived in London.
And Pat, I think you would agree this is a true immersive learning experience, from TCOM to journalism to graphics to even PR. All those groups combined have turned this into an experience of a lifetime.
We've been working at this all summer long, and I can tell you that since we left in the spring, things have just exploded with this. We've got so many people that want to use some of our stuff, that want to try to get our stuff in someplace, that we've really got some really good opportunities. This is an immersive project like no other Ball State.
36 students, 23 weeks, 2 locations, and the biggest sporting event in the world. Are you ready? BSU at the Games wasn't just a single class for a specific major. We were a team of students from all different departments and majors, carefully selected to ensure that we would be an efficient and productive part of the team. We had students in public relations, photography, graphics, journalism, and film production. We couldn't have made any of this possible without one another working together as a team. And when combined together under the direction of program leader Ryan Sparrow, we were one unstoppable media outlet.
The class was originally thought up a couple years ago when I was actually in London leading another program, and I just kind of thought that it would be a really cool opportunity to be able to bring students to the games and report on them.
Getting stories fast and publishing our work became second nature after just a few days. Every day had a new set of challenges, deadlines, and frustrations.
What's going on with this drummer?
Man, he loves drumming, that's what it is. The problem.
How many takes is that?
Oh, too many. What are we at now?
Triple digits.
Triple digits. We're about to go give him like 20 pounds just so he stops drumming and go home for the day.
That's bad. Yeah.
That's really bad.
Anyone have like Amazon sleeping darts or needs a little love?
Yeah. I know. Hey. Oh, hey, go. Go, he stopped. He stopped. We're live.
3, 2, 1. The BSU at the Games Olympic special continues here in Trafalgar Square. Produced by Josh Blessing, Palmer Durb, and Alberto Pimienta.
Okay, we're just here to get
Oh, it's gonna be a little. Stop and everything else makes noise.
Why are there so many sounds in this world?
We discovered it's not easy reporting on a major global event. Staying up till 5 in the morning working on a press release, waiting in the rain for 4 hours for the chance to interview an athlete, standing in lines well over a mile long, or climbing a tree to get that perfect shot at the triathlon. We pushed ourselves harder than we ever have before to get the best stories and to try and keep up with the major news organizations. And although there was a lot of work, we had some fun too. Whether it was renting Barkley bikes and riding around London, getting a pint at the local pub, hanging out at the carnival down by the London Eye, or going to the U.S. women's gold medal soccer match.
Favorite part of the trip?
Probably the women's soccer match.
Women's soccer match.
The game.
Gold medal match for U.S. women's soccer.
Gold medal match.
Freedom for liberty. At the final women's soccer match.
We set out on this adventure not knowing what exactly would come of it. And although it wasn't easy, by the end we had accomplished more than we ever thought possible. 51 stories, 191 photos, 9 videos, and 10 graphics were published in public media featuring Huffington Post, Chicago Tribune, WTHR, and USA Today. Over 1,000 Twitter followers, 50,000 YouTube views, and our Facebook page virally reaching 882,549 people. This trip changed us, gaining incredible experience and making amazing memories. This once-in-a-lifetime adventure is one none of us will ever forget.
Millions of people across the world flocked to London for the Olympic Games.
Here's what the action looked like around the city as the excitement unfolded.
I'm Vincent Stapula. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
My name is Mike Trick and I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
And why are you guys out here?
To support the USA and all their athletes and represent our country, man. We're ambassadors.
Okay, ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go! Let's go away! Let's go away!
Johnson, serving by Michael.
One of the athletes that we got to know over the past couple months is USA Boxing's Errol Spence Jr. and his incredible story.
From a small gym in Dallas to the Olympic boxing ring, here's the Errol Spence story, produced by Josh Blessing and Alex Kartman.
He already is the #1 in the country.
He has strength, he has power, he has speed.
He's got the possibility of changing boxing.
He's almost like the perfect boxer.
Boxing needs a new face, and I think that Errol Spence is that face.
Growing up in Dallas, Texas, Errol Spence Jr. now finds himself as one of the top boxers in the world. His tone is soft, his style, power. His words are short, his punches do the talking.
He believes in himself. He knows what he can do, and but he doesn't walk around like that. He walks quiet. Like they say, and carry a big stick. He knows who he is. So in knowing who you are, you don't have to walk around like that and to be arrogant a particular way.
I'm a very aggressive boxer. If I see have my opponent hurt, I would take risks and go in there and try to get him out of there and knock him out. I'm a person that hate to lose in anything. So that's my motivation right there. I'm a very smart thinker. I think a lot too. I can read my opponent real well. Just all around, just a boxer puncher.
Without the influence of his father, Errol Spence Sr., boxing may have never been a part of his life. His role models, however, go far beyond his family.
I've always been a fan of boxing. Me and my dad, I grew up watching Lennox Lewis, because he's of Jamaican descent and my dad's Jamaican too. So we used to always go and watch him and go support him.
Muhammad Ali was an influence for me, and I'm glad and I'm happy and I'm joyed that somebody else has gained influence from my boxing.
I was just laying around and my dad woke me up one day. He's like, we going to the boxing gym. I didn't like it at first. I used to get beat up a lot. He wouldn't let me quit. He said, if you quit in this, when it gets hard, then you're quitting anything in life. So he made me stick with it, and it turned out to be the best thing I ever done.
Over the years, his entire family has made sacrifices, always in the stands rooting him on.
My mom, I can hear. I can hear her when I'm fighting. I can hear her yell, "Come on, EJ, kick his butt." She's very excited. My dad, he yells too sometimes, but he's more just mellow. I remember when I first started going to the gym, he drive trucks. So he worked night shift. He'd get out of work and go to sleep for probably like 2 hours, then take me to the gym. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would be at. I could talk to him and come to him about anything. He gives me great advice, and I have great guidance.
His rise to the world boxing spotlight started in the shadows of a rundown gym in rugged South Dallas.
Well, we went around to certain gyms to find which gym, and then we went to Vivero, which is our Mexican gym. I was the only black guy there at the time, so they're kind of rough on me, especially in sparring. I had to earn my respect from them. I started working with Derrick James to get better. I feel like I wasn't progressing at Rivero like I needed to. So I started working with Derrick James, and then we moved over here to this gym.
For me, it's great to see someone I worked with for the past 4 years develop. When I started out, I thought, well, maybe I wanted him to be the amateur world champion.
My coach made me go to the gym on Sundays a lot. I want to take a break, but he don't let me. And I just think about my opponent. I know he's working hard too, and me working on that day, working every day, and getting better is gonna get me better when I face him. If he's in shape, I might spar him.
I still say he can't get me. No. Every day I threaten him, I have myself in the car.
I tell him go get it. They just smile. I beat him up.
From Dallas to the London Olympic Games, Spence continues to impress. But everyone knows his presence means much more.
Right now I'm focused on Olympics 100%.
Everybody that's in here knows that he's definitely working for something that is going to make a difference in this country.
He wanted to go to the Olympics, but I never thought about it. It was just this far idea that wasn't on my mind or whatever. The focus is to win it, you know, and that's when it's over. And I mean, that's not what I'm putting on him, that's what he put on me. And it would just be amazing to see that, you know, and bring a gold medal back home to Dallas. It'd be, I can't even describe it.
Errol Spence can bring Olympic hopefuls back to what they used to be, like when Sugar Ray Leonard was around. All of the great fighters have come from the Olympic Games.
I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Representing your country, that's a big honor, because all the past greats did the same thing, like Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, all them. So being in that bunch with them and being mentioned with them names, that's a great thing.
For Ball State at the Games, I'm Josh Blessing. We have more coverage at Tower Bridge with Michael Nauman.
Thanks, guys. One of the most inspirational stories this year at the Olympics is Eric Shanteau. 4 years ago in Beijing, he swam with cancer. This year in London, he swims cancer-free.
There are goals and there are dreams. But when those dreams are tested and time becomes a factor, how far would you go?
Finding something out like that, it was devastating, I think, to say the least. And you get hit with all these emotions all at once, and I think the biggest thing is it's a loss of control. I'm a pro athlete, I'm used to having control over everything in my life, and all of a sudden control is ripped out of your hands and replaced with a doctor who's essentially giving you a battle plan to save your life, and all this happened a week before the biggest meet of my life.
June 19th, 2008. A week before U.S. swimming trials for the Beijing Olympics, Shanteau was diagnosed with testicular cancer. Shocked by the news from his doctor, a decision needed to be made. Does he have surgery right away, or forgo treatment and continue his Olympic dreams?
After I explained the position I was in, I was able to go on to Olympic trials and compete and actually make the Olympic team. Then I was faced with an even bigger decision, and that was if I could continue to delay treatment and go on and represent the U.S. at the Olympic Games. And after consulting with my then army of doctors and going through a battery of tests, they gave me the go-ahead to compete at the Olympics, and it was an experience of a lifetime. You know, it's something that I worked my entire life to do, and stepping foot on that deck for the first time in Beijing, I'll definitely never forget that.
While competing in Beijing, Shanteau set a new personal best in the 200-meter breaststroke. He returned to the U.S. after the Games and underwent surgery in late August, only to find himself back in the pool 3 weeks later. All that he'd been through inspired him to create his own Live Strong cancer awareness event called Swim for Your Life. As you can imagine, his story traveled quickly.
Being a six-time cancer survivor myself, I had heard Eric's story with testicular cancer and the Olympics, and when we heard about the event here 2 years ago, I got to meet him at the dinner the night before the event. And so we talked afterwards, and that's when my wife and I kind of got engaged with Eric to help him coordinate and promote the event the second year.
When I got back from the Olympics and had surgery, I got back home to Austin, went in to meet everyone at Livestrong, and the first thing the CEO, Doug Ullman, asked me was, is there anything else we can do? And I said, absolutely, I want to meet Lance. So they set that up a couple weeks later. Big group of us went out to dinner, and that was the first time I got to meet Lance, and we didn't talk anything about cancer or anything like that. You know, it was a pretty incredible experience to meet an athlete that has accomplished what Lance has. So after I met him, I went to my first Livestrong Challenge. About 2 years after that, we started the first Swim for Your Life event in Atlanta, Georgia. We actually hold it at Lake Lanier, which is where I grew up going to the lake. And we had probably 75 people come out the first year in 2010. And then last year we had over 300 people participate. So it's an event that has really taken off very quickly. And, you know, I try and run it kind of like a Live Strong challenge, just in the water. And the goal is to continue to grow it and to continue to be involved with it. You know, as long as there's a fight against cancer, it's something that I want to be involved with.
Shanteau began checking in with his doctor every 2 months after surgery, then every 4 months. Now the Olympian only visits every 6 months. And while his life of normalcy continues to grow, so does Swim for Your Life.
The expansion in the participation last year was enormous, and I think we can do double that this year, especially with the Olympics, especially when he gets on the team, and especially when he does so well over there, which we all are hoping and praying for. It can be spectacular.
It's a great event for a lot of reasons, and first and foremost, the benefit and the awareness we raise for the cancer community. All the funds we raise go towards the Patient Navigation Center and the other programs and services that Live Strong has. And at the same time, you know, I think awareness is the biggest weapon we have in the fight against cancer. So it's simply having people out there and acknowledging that they need to be aware of their bodies, not just for testicular cancer, but all types of cancers, is something that is very, very valuable. The mission of this has been always to give back the support that was given to me when I was going through this at Olympic trials and at the Olympic Games. You know, during that summer of 2008, I was given so much help and so much support by people that I had never met before. And you know, that was part of the reason why I started this, was to be able to, in some way, give back to people who I don't know who will at some point go through this, or have a loved one or know someone that will go through this, and show them the support that was given to me.
Through his struggles, Shanteau has learned to embrace the life he graciously still has. He's learned that there is more to life than the sport of swimming, and that awareness of this disease can change lives, one event at a time. For Ball State at the Games, I'm Josh Blessing.
We have more stories at Big Ben with Emily Barker.
Thanks, guys. USA Track and Field's Lance Brooks competed discus at this year's Olympics, but that was not always his sport of choice. For USA Track and Field's Lance Brooks, discus was not always his focus.
I threw discus my 8th grade year, and then I did it a little bit in high school, a little bit in college, but college basketball was like, that's what got me to school. That's what kind of paid for things and got me around in life. And then I did track. I threw after basketball season was over. There was like 3 weeks of track, and it was kind of a more individualized. It was for myself. You know, if I didn't do well, I couldn't really blame anybody.
Despite his basketball background, Brooks turned his attention to throwing. In 2008, he missed making the Olympic team by 26 inches. 4 years later, it came down to his final throw at the Olympic trials.
It's kind of a Cinderella story in a sense. I mean, my very last throw, got me on the team. I threw the standard, everything on my very last throw. I mean, I had 3 throws. My first 3 were 64 meters, and it's just, you know, then 2 fouls. And so, yeah, I was nervous, and kind of, I knew that I had to throw 65, but I thought I was going to go no matter what, because I had to, you know, I was winning. So it was just, I mean, now that I look back on it and think about it, it's just, it was impressive.
Brooks' coach believes he and the other throwers have the ability to peak at the Olympic Games.
The key factor is getting optimal performance for their capacity at the time of the Games. It's the most important time of your life to come up with your best result. Even just be your average, generally your ability. Anything below it is sort of, it's painful. It's a painful experience for them down the road. So we want to see our athletes perform up to their standards, and if they do that, everything will be okay.
To be successful, I have to throw a lifetime best again. I know the last probably 4 months I've PR'd 2 or 3 times, and it's been, you know, 10 centimeters here, 20 there. So my coach and I have both, you know, come to the conclusion that, you know, I'm ready for that big jump, and this would be a great place to do it.
For BSU at the Games, I'm Emily Barker.
We've had a solid Olympic show so far. Here's even more interviews with athletes that we met up with.
getting to know these guys and just seeing how hard they work and how determined they are just gives me the extra boost to just work even harder. So it's a really great opportunity for me, and I thank God for this experience.
Physically, I'm just training really hard. I'm running every single day, every morning at 6 a.m. Then I go to the gym and I just work on my technique, my skill, because I know the Olympics, my opponents are going to be really tough, so I just have to come with a good game plan and good technique and good skill in order to win. What I do mentally is just think of positive thoughts, just think about winning, and I just take all the negative thoughts away. When people tell me that this guy's a tough opponent, I just think that he's just a regular human being, and he bleeds, he sweats, he does everything. He's nervous just like me, so he's human. So that's all I think, and that just gives me that extra boost and that extra motivation to when I go inside the fight.
I just want to thank everybody for all the support that they've been doing for me. I mean, we were selling shirts, we were having donations, we were having ping pong tournaments, and doing everything we can, man, to get my parents to London. And now we have 7 people coming here for me, and it's just going to be awesome just seeing them in the crowd and cheering me on. It's going to give me an extra boost to fight even harder and get the gold medal for my family.
Indiana's own David Boudia has been an Olympian before. He dove in the 2008 games in Beijing, and while he gained experience, still felt he had a lot to prove.
Here's how Boudia got into the sport of diving and his road to redemption in the 2012 Olympics. Produced by Pat Boylan and Alex Kartman.
As a boy growing up in Noblesville, Indiana, David Boudia always knew he wanted to be an Olympic athlete. He just didn't always know in what sport.
In 1996, I was watching the Olympic Games with my family, and we're huge Olympic fanatics, so I can remember watching the opening ceremonies and just seeing the different events going on. I just remember how awesome it would be to represent your country on the biggest spectacle of sports. And so at that moment I told my mom I wanted to be an Olympian, and I tried a lot of different sports before diving. And when I found diving, I started progressing quite quickly.
Diving for Boudia presented its share of difficulties, most notably jumping 33 feet in the air for someone who's afraid of heights.
Well, when you throw a diver, especially a 12-year-old boy, up on a 3-story structure, they're going to be scared out of their mind. But that was something, it was a huge obstacle in my career. It was whether I could do this dive from 10 meter or I could make this dream and shut it out of my mind and go on to something else. And it came to the point where I was like standing up on the 2 meter. I was like, all right, so what am I doing now to get me to where I want to be in the future? And a lot of that, a lot of visualization in my mind, just seeing my dives all of the time, it just got me through that little spur, and that's what was a huge pivotal moment in my career.
Boudia made his Olympic debut in Beijing in 2008, but despite all of his success at a young age, he left the 2008 Games yearning to accomplish more.
The experience in Beijing was definitely, it was a lifelong dream to be an Olympian, and when I was named to the team, I was just ecstatic because that was a dream of mine. But at the end of the games, I looked back and it's so surreal to think about it. I had so many great moments, but afterwards I was not completed. I felt like something was missing, and so my attitude and my priorities and just outlook on the Olympic Games changed since then. And the past 4 years since coming to college has definitely been a real eye-opener, just taking on more responsibility and looking at what's important to me in life.
In the past 4 years, Boudia's fame has risen as well. So much so, New York City took notice.
Billboard in New York, it's crazy. When I saw my picture in Times Square, a huge billboard, it was kind of surreal. It was a sponsorship. TD Ameritrade is a huge supporter of me and the Olympic Games, and it was kind of neat. When we went to this photo shoot, we started shooting a lot of photos, and they said this is going to be on a billboard in Times Square, and it's kind of surreal to think of that.
And these past 4 years have also helped Boudia develop in the pool and out of it.
Well, being a Purdue student, it's definitely changed how I handle situations. Going into college, any student knows that time management is key. So definitely prioritizing what is right and what needs to be done, and what responsibilities need to be taken care of before that, and just how I view things. It definitely looks a lot different, you know. I didn't have much of a faith in 2008, and now my faith is definitely my rock and the most important thing into my life.
The United States hasn't won an Olympic medal in a diving event since 2000, and Boudia can only dream what it would be like to break that trend.
Well, I've closed my eyes so many times and pictured this moment of standing on the podium, and you know, it gives me chills when I think about it, and you know, it's definitely a huge goal of mine to be an Olympic gold medalist, but you know, that's something that I have to put on the back of my mind and just focus on one step at a time on those process goals, and you know, it's definitely going to be an amazing moment if that happens.
A goal that Boudia would achieve. In the 10-meter diving final, Boudia completed one of diving's biggest upsets, topping favorites Kibo and Lin Yi and completing his personal dream. For Ball State at the Games, I'm Pat Boylan.
The BSU at the Games Olympic Special continues here in Trafalgar Square. I'm Pat Boylan, joined by University of Worcester student Aaron Wise. And Aaron, I know you're not from London, but what's the experience been like for you being in England during these Olympic Games?
It's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, we've had the Diamond Jubilee of the Queen, and now we've got the Games as well. So it's not just London, the whole country. I've never seen so much Great Britain flags about. It's fantastic. You really see people coming out and supporting their nation and thoughts. It's overwhelming to have this experience. It really is.
Being a student journalist, what's it been like for you to partner with us and kind of experience this game from a media aspect?
It has been unbelievable. I mean, I've joined some of you guys. I've managed to get into the Team Great Britain House, interview athletes and that. I mean, seeing you guys, what you do is fantastic as well, and just have that opportunity to see a foreign university as well as ours together in the Games, in London, working together, it's definitely an experience I won't forget.
Have you had a chance to attend any of the Olympic events so far?
Yes, I've been to the men's quarterfinal of basketball, which was at the North Greenwich Arena, which was unbelievable, sell out. And I went to the women's soccer finals last night, which you guys won, got the gold medal. And yeah, for Wembley Stadium to have 83,000 for a women's soccer game without the host nation being there is unbelievable, it really was.
Is it going to be a little bit of disappointment for you when the Olympic Games finally come to a close?
I think it will, yeah, but I suppose the positives is that it really has been fantastic, and it's something I won't forget and it's something I cherish, but yeah, it will be sad when it ends, but I hope we go out with a bang.
Well, thanks, Aaron, very much for your time.
Cheers, mate.
Let's take it over to Brandon Pope, who's at the London Eye.
Our crew got all access passes to USA men's basketball practice. Here's your behind-the-scenes look at all the fun.
Team USA men's basketball had practice today.
Rau'Shee Warren has been through many obstacles to get to where he is today. One of those being just to stay alive.
In a true rags to riches story, here's Warren's journey from inner-city Cincinnati to three-time Olympian. Produced by Josh Blessing, Palmer Durr, and Alberto Pimienta.
Fighting, shooting, robberies, police surrounding houses, kicking down doors. Pretty much stuff that you might see on movies. I was living in an area like that. That stuff went down there almost every other week or every week.
There are many ways to describe the life of Rau'Shee Warren. Growing up in English Woods, a suburb of Cincinnati, Ohio, was not only a test of his character, but where the root of conviction began. A route that allowed him to survive.
Boxing saved my life. I was doing a whole lot as far as with me and my friends. The friends I've been coming up with, they either dead or they in jail.
His craft is speed, precision, a game of inches. a reminder of his past when inches separated him from life or death.
I was riding through downtown and somebody mistaked that it was somebody in our car that they thought whoever they were shooting at, and they started shooting at the car. And I was in the back seat, and it hit the car like 4 times, and like the bullet hit the seat. And and I felt it hit under the seat, and I like, Dad, the bullet hit the seat. Then they like drove out. Like, we still ain't never really tell nobody about it, because there's a lot of people that like us, but some that's against us. Just the fact that they just got that in their heart, like that hate in their heart. I don't know why, because what we doing is positive. 2 of my friends, you know, they had got into a street fight, close friends, and one had hit the other one. He had hit his head, had a seizure, and died. So when that happened, it's like the farthest we get with each other now is we maybe argue. But back then we was young, we used to just like fighting each other and like, get it off your chest, fight, shake hands after that. It ain't none of that anymore. It's just like we might have disagreements and that's it.
From street fighter to Olympic fighter, Warren's past defines his future.
I don't really get that much time to really come visit here. You know, I'm always on the other side of town or doing stuff, and when I'm here, I'm talking to you about how my life been, how it was coming up, and you seeing my neighborhood, and it just trees and fence and just one big building. They just show you that my story has been true from day one. This right here is just a big motivation. Like, this something I can show my kids, like, this is where I used to live at. Look, it's gone now. Like, it's gone because how rough and how violent it wasn't safe for kids or not like that.
Now entering his 3rd Olympics, Warren wants the gold more than ever.
Right now, I'm just trying to get to the next level, trying to get to my peak. So I'm doing everything as possible, you know, to get ready for it. So whoever's in my way, you know, I feel like they blocking me from, you know, reaching my goal. So I gotta, you know, get them up out of there. I'm like more like a leader now, because, you know, when I was 17, I was, you know, just still learning, still, you know, aware, still trying to figure out what was going on, how the game was played. And as I started growing up to now, it's like now I got to show people the route and what to do and not to do, and what's good and what's not good. And that changed a lot, and it also helped me to be a better father to my kids too. It made me work harder.
His message is clear: set your goals high and never stop till you reach the top.
You wake up at a young age, and whatever dream you have, whatever you got planned, always stick to it. Don't never let nobody tell you different. Ain't nothing like doing something you love to do. And fighting is what I love doing. And then it started from here, day one.
For Ball State at the Games, I'm Josh Blessing.
In his hometown of Wisconsin, USA Wrestling's Ben Provisor was nicknamed Big Ben.
So there's not a more appropriate site for his first Olympics than in London. Connor Hockett and Emily Barker have the story.
That tattoo? This? Oh, there we go.
In his hometown of Stevens Point, Wisconsin, Ben Provisor's nickname is more than a symbol of the London Games.
Once I made the 2012 Olympic team, it got started. It wasn't anything, I was never called Big Ben in high school or anything, but when they knew I was coming to London, that sort of started in my hometown, so I guess what they call me now.
Provisor started wrestling for fun at 6 years old. 3 years later, he joined a wrestling club where he met Dennis Hall.
I wrestled for his club, and when I got started at 6 years old, he was my coach, and I wrestled in the off-season. I wrestled Greco right away, and I was just a little bit better at it and a little bit, you know, more passionate about it.
Hall was a 3-time Olympian and 1995 world champion. He also turned out to be Provisor's neighbor.
He's like a dad to me. He's not just a coach, you know. He looks out for me not only as a wrestler, but as a person. So, you know, we're good friends on and off the mat. So, you know, he's my coach. I listen to everything he says, but he's still my friend.
With Hall in his corner, Provisor first recognized his Olympic potential in high school.
I was a freshman in high school, and I wrote down it was season goals for folk style, and I put down 2012 Olympian. Is when the first time I really realized that, or when I wanted to do it.
With the amount of travel in wrestling, relationships are easily formed. One of those touched Provisor more than others.
His name is Art Cohen. You know, we traveled together a lot of places, and you know, he taught me how to be a good person and like what to value in life. You know, my family and things that matter. He passed away before my senior year of high school, and you know, it was a hard situation to deal with, but you know, I try and carry him with me. I got a tattoo of him on my right thigh across an angel wing that says "Rest in peace, Big Papa," and you know, I sort of want to be as good as a person as he was.
After advancing to the second round of the 2012 Olympic Games, Provisor knows Hall's instruction and Cohn's memory will continue to drive him.
I think it's more of a comfort level of how I'm going to be here. You know, I'm going to have the experience of being in the Olympics and being through the nerves and all that stuff. And you know, I need 4 years to get that much better. You know, I need to get better every day as a person and as an athlete.
He's powerful and he stays disciplined and keeps after it. You know, he can have gold in 4 years from now.
With his first Olympics over, Provisor will now enlist and compete in the Army's world-class athlete program.
I'll be going into basic training in the next 2-3 months, and I'll be there for, I'd say, 4 months total with job training also, and then I'm going to be getting back into the springs and get back training. I'm going to try and get better, like stronger, more physical on my feet. I just I gotta work to get better every day, and that's what I'm going to try and do, and hopefully I can make the next 3 world teams, compete and maybe win a medal, and then move on to Rio.
For BSU at the Games, I'm Connor Hockett.
We have more stories at Big Bend with Michael Nauman.
Thanks, guys. Earlier this year, we got to sit down with Mariya Killman and Mariya Koroleva, who are this year's only synchronized swimming duet representing the United States in the Olympic Games. Above the water, their routine is simple. Under the water, Mariya Killman and Mariya Koroleva would say differently.
Part of our job as synchronized swimmers is to make it look easy. I think if people really saw how we were feeling during the routine, it would not be pleasant to look at. But the feeling you get at the end of a routine is, it's really unique. You feel, your muscles have no oxygen, so they're burning.
That's probably one of the hardest things with synchro, I think. To be able to be underwater and, you're focusing so hard on what your arms are doing, where your body's sitting, where your legs are moving at the same time when you have to be synchronized with the person next to you. But then you have to come up and look like nothing's wrong. You're kicking the person next to you, or you've been sculling on top of them, and you feel like you're drowning because you've been in the routine for 2.5 minutes already, and you're ending the end and your muscles are burning. You can't show any of it. Like, you have to have a perfect look on your face of, oh yeah, this is easy. What I've always told people is the easier we can make it look, the better we are at it.
Growing up competing against each other, the duet would have to transition quickly if they wanted to be successful.
We actually competed against each other for a while in California. We were in rivaling clubs, and we still kind of have that sometimes. You've got the rivalry, but it's like a natural rivalry. It's good. We push each other really well.
Their first time swimming together was on the junior national team in 2008. It didn't take long for them to have success.
We were paired together in August of 2011. And we competed at the Pan American Games only a month after, so we came together really, really quickly, and that was really cool that we did so well, having so little preparation time. And then, since then we've kind of just been building our relationship as a duet and just getting stronger and stronger in the water.
On average, the duo trains over 20 hours every 2 to 3 days. Although the training can be difficult, the end result is worth it.
8:30 we're diving in the pool, and then we're in the pool till 11:30 or 12. We get out, we go to St. Vincent's, it's about a 20-25 minute drive, We have an hour of physical therapy, and then from about 1 to 2, we have weights. As soon as 2 o'clock hits, we're out of St. Vincent's. We're driving back here, diving in the pool at 2:30, and we're here until about 5:30.
The longer you can spend at the pool, you know, the closer you're going to get to your dream. And we get up in the mornings. There's 2 or 3 times a week that our alarm goes off at 5:15 in the morning, and we're going almost 12 hours of nonstop movement. And we have to continuously remind ourselves, like, we're working towards a dream. We're working towards something that not anyone else can do.
Killman and Koroleva are the only synchronized swimming duo representing the U.S. at the Olympic Games. That alone has helped create an everlasting friendship.
This competition is the culmination of 13 years of practicing and being cold in the pool and being exhausted and sacrificing so much to be here.
To go through everything you have personally throughout your entire career, and then me and Mariya have only been together since August, but to go through everything that we have as a duet, as a pair, there's stresses, there's ups, there's downs, everything that goes on. And to be able to get through all of that, to be able to call yourself an Olympic athlete, much less, worry about if you got 3rd or if you got 5th or 1st, a placement's just a placement. And, just to be able to finish that with the best swim that we can with, someone I've spent so much time with, that there's definitely one of those feelings that's not going to ever be compared to.
For BSU at the Games, I'm Michael Nauman.
Josh and I are here in central London. Let's head over to Buckingham Palace with Brandon Pope.
Thanks, Pat and Josh. As a race walker, John Nunn was used to not being in the spotlight, but he didn't mind. He had one thing set on his goals: the 2012 Olympic Games. Here's more.
Army Staff Sergeant and world-class athlete John Nunn is walking for a purpose. As the Americans' lone 50K race walker in London, Nunn wants to bring attention and respect to a sport few know about: race walking.
So race walking, we have 2 rules. We have to keep 1 foot on the ground at all times. As soon as the foot hits the ground, the leg has to be straight. We're not allowed to bend our knee until we pick the foot back up to pull it through.
Popular in European countries and Latin America, race walking has never had the same appeal in the States. The sport's technique may appear comical, but the hard work, endurance, and physical toll that race walking takes on the body is no laughing matter.
Yeah, I would tell anyone to come out and give it a try. I know Bob Costas, he quoted one point saying, race walking is like seeing who can whisper the loudest. It's absolutely pointless. We got interviewed by the Today Show and actually taught some of them how to race walk. And Ryan Seacrest was one of them, and one of the coaches talked to him a couple days later, and he was like, my shins were on fire for 2-3 days. He goes, I never realized it was this hard. I have great respect for those guys now.
Nunn was born into the sport. His parents were race walkers in Colorado. His family moved to Evansville, Indiana, where he shined as a track star at Harrison High School. Although he calls San Diego home now, his time in the Hoosier State paid dividends.
California, I've been there 12 years, and it's home, but I stay true to the Indiana roots and the Midwest respect and hard work ethic that I learned there in Indiana has paved the way for success.
Formerly a participant in the 20K race, this year's Games will be Nunn's first in a 50K event.
He's the best 50-kilometer walker now. He won the USA Trials early this year, but now he's the best. He's the #1 in America.
I don't know what the odds are of me making gold, but it'd just be astronomical as far as I don't know. It would certainly be a dream come true. I know my daughter would be ecstatic. The Army would certainly be ecstatic. So we'll give it everything we have.
In London, Brandon Pope, BSU at the Games.
Diving has been a part of Thomas Fincham's life for many years, but he soon found out that wasn't his only calling.
Despite not qualifying for the 2012 Games, Fincham is focusing on another career, music, and he's already moved to Nashville. Josh Blessing has the story.
From a young age, Thomas Finchem has always been known for his Olympic diving, but his story goes much deeper than that. All you have to do is listen.
So this is how it ends. This is where it all goes down. This is what I don't love you
To be honest, music has always been a huge part of my life. Growing up, I always loved music. I always, listened to it and sang everywhere I went. But it wasn't until recently that I let everyone in on my love for music. I kind of, decided that I wanted to take that jump and show everyone that I love this and I love to sing, and so I kind of just went after it. Being so busy, my mom actually asked me, how do you think you're going to manage both of these things? You have such a full schedule, and I pretty much told her I don't think I could give this up just because I don't have enough time. I love it so much that I want to pursue it. I mean, even if it means getting in late some nights and being tired, I want to do this.
And while his fan support has grown worldwide, his biggest fans still remain back home.
His parents are really, really proud. I think it's cool for them to see, that he's picturing something beyond diving. Obviously, that's not something he's going to do forever. They're supporting him. They've taken him down to look at schools in Nashville and are definitely some of his biggest fans.
I've always had the support of my friends and my family, and they're the group that's always known that I can sing. Everyone else in the world has kind of known me as Thomas the Diver, and it wasn't until recently, I posted some things online, and then everyone kind of was finding out. And so now when I go to diving meets, everyone's like, "Since when can you sing? I didn't know. Why didn't you tell us this earlier?"
And I wanna call you mine, wanna hold your hand forever. Never let you forget it, 'cause baby I wanna make you feel wanted, as good as you make me feel. I wanna make you feel better.
I think it's incredible that he puts so much time into the Olympics, practicing 6 days a week for all day. It's really a full-time job for him. And then on the side, he's trying to make this music thing happen too. So I just really respect him. I look up to him a lot. That's incredible that he can put the effort that he has to put into diving and then still be able to put effort into the music thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Do a little John there. This is Thomas Fincham.
It was called Can You Rock, and it was downtown at the Rathskeller. It was a competition that one of my friends had done in the past, and I thought I wanted to do it, but that was kind of before I had, told everyone that I want to do this singing thing and I want to really take it seriously. So I was kind of really nervous to actually go there and do it. But it was an awesome experience. I ended up second, but it kind of was the thing that really told me, okay, maybe I do have potential to do this and I want to pursue it.
This next song we're gonna sing is our first single that we ever released on iTunes back in December. It's called Baby I'm Gone. I know most of you guys have heard it, but for any of you over there, if you like it, make sure to check it out on iTunes.
The fire has finally come down, but the words you said.
It was just crazy because, our song was up on iTunes, the whole world could pretty much hear it. And I mean, it was kind of that point where I was like, well, I can't really turn back now,
I've known all these guys for an extended period of time. And so, it's kind of how they came together as a band, just various friends that I've had throughout my life. And so you feel really proud of them on different levels.
I've always dreamed of, pursuing music, but it always seemed like such an impossible goal, like something that was so out of reach. Now it's all happened so fast. We're together, we're playing shows and doing stuff like that, and it's almost surreal to be able to be doing something that I love so much and, pursuing this dream.
Although his future in diving is still unknown, his dreams of becoming a country music star are only beginning. For Ball State at the Games, I'm Josh Blessing.
Josh, from the Team USA basketball practice, to all access at USA Boxing, to the women's soccer match. I know you'd agree with me when I say that this has just been an unbelievable experience and something that we won't soon forget.
I totally agree, Pat. I mean, we're getting one-on-one experience and exposure to all these Olympic athletes, and let alone be in the city of London here, Big Ben right over our shoulder. This is absolutely amazing.
Well, you can watch all the work that all of our student reporters have done at bsuatthegames.com.
For all of us at BSU at the Games and Ball State Sports Link, I'm Josh Blessing.
And I'm Pat Boylan. Thanks for watching.